information on breaking news we brought to you yesterday morning of a fatal shooting in Fort Pierce. The video police are looking at today in hopes of finding answers. That's coming up next. And today is the busiest travel day of the entire year just ahead. Steps you can take to keep you and your passengers safer on the roads this Sunday morning. Plus, a presidential hopeful and part-time Palm Beacher using terrorism as a reason to support gun rights. Why he believes more guns are the answer. Still ahead. Good morning. I'm Jason Hackett, joined, as always, by meteorologist Tyler Malden. Tyler, it was very cool in the mornings this week. Are we going to still see that coming up?
I mean, it's still going to be comfortable for the next couple of days. Not cool. I wouldn't say cool, but comfortable. But once we get to probably middle to the end of the next week, it'll be pretty warm, pretty humid.
Yeah, I guess Florida didn't get the memo that winter is almost here.
Right. Yeah, the muggies will return here soon. We'll be feeling like summertime come midweek next week. Right now, though, comfortable start to Sunday. It has been breezy, if not windy, and it'll continue to be breezy for yet another day. And once we get to midweek next week, we'll be warming up. We'll be talking about mid-80s for highs and mid-70s for morning lows. Right now, we have temperatures in the 60s across almost the entire viewing area. We have a temperature of 62 degrees in Sebastian, 65 degrees in West Palm, and 68 degrees in Boca. Okeechobee, you are that one city, yet again, that is not in the 60s. You're topping out at, or bottoming out, I should say, at 59 degrees this morning. Live at Provide Max is dry at the moment. Now, later on today, we'll top out at 81 degrees area-wide. Partly cloudy sky expected, and it will be breezy with that wind getting up to about 20 miles per hour, gusting a little higher than that. So hold on to your hats as you head out. Here's a look at the temperatures across the entire nation. This makes you glad that you live in Florida, doesn't it? We got a temperature of 9 degrees in Billings. We got a temperature of 20 degrees in Denver, but there's a front sitting right here. The air ahead of it is warm tropical. That's what we're dealing with. Meanwhile, behind the system, they have that really cold air. And this is where you're going to run into a little bit of trouble if you're flying, because we have some really heavy rain stretching from Texas all the way into about Washington, D.C. On that cool side, we do have a little wintry precip there, too. Jason?
Breaking news overnight just into our newsroom of a stabbing in Jupiter. It happened at 1600 Center Street in Eastview Manor. One person has been taken to St. Mary's Hospital. We're still making calls to learn more about what happened. We'll update you with any new information. Major roadways checking in clear this Sunday morning. Thousands are likely to hit the road as they head home from the Thanksgiving holiday. News Channel 5's Andrew Ruiz joins us live with a look at your commute this morning. Andrew.
Hey, Jason, good morning. Yeah, many hitting the road this morning, trying to get a head start before there are plenty of drivers on the road later on. This is the Turnpike checking in clear. I-95 also checking in clear. All major roadways in and out of South Florida looking good right now. We've gathered a few tips for you to keep in mind as you head out. The first is to leave early. Give yourself plenty of time to not only get to your destination, but to allow you to take breaks for you, especially if there is traffic on the roadway. The second, download an app like Google Maps or Waze. The two apps will let you know whether your route is clear, and if it's not, give you another route to take. The third relates to the last, which is to have a backup plan, since weather can easily delay your trip or strand you and your family on the road. Fourth, have a co-pilot. If you need someone to navigate your apps or just need a break from driving, you've got that person. And lastly, be on high alert. We can't stress that you do not know what other drivers are going to do, so it's important that you're vigilant, have some caffeine, make sure you're well rested. So before you leave this morning, make sure you have all of those checking in. We'll keep our eyes on the roadway, and if you see anything happening, just go ahead and tweet us at Wptv Traffic. We are live in West Palm Beach. Andrew Ruiz, Wptv News Channel 5.
Right now, the search is on for the gunman involved in a fatal shooting in Fort Pierce. It happened yesterday morning near North 25th Street and Orange Avenue. We brought it to you as breaking news. Employees working at a nearby grocery store say they found a pool of blood in front outside. And today, surveillance video from outside the grocery store is being reviewed by police. Police arrested a 21-year-old man in connection to the shooting death of a 16-year-old in Riviera Beach Friday night. Police say they found Kenrick Taylor sitting on the ground holding the victim, Jonathan Pearson. Pearson had sustained a gunshot wound to the chest. Taylor initially denied any involvement, but after further questioning, claimed the gun accidentally discharged when he was handing it over to Pearson. Anyone with additional details on this shooting is urged to call Riviera Beach Police. And happening later today, another rally in support of Corey Jones, this time in Boynton Beach. Protesters say they want answers in Jones's shooting death by a Palm Beach Gardens police officer. The rally will be held today from 4 to 6 at St. John Missionary Baptist Church. Later, there will be a candlelight march from the church to the Bible Church of God. Right now, you can make up to $1,000 if you catch someone disturbing a protected sea turtle. The Turtle Hospital in Marathon is offering the reward in response to several recent prosecutions of people for harming turtles. The hospital's founder says callers can remain anonymous. And Donald Trump helicoptered into Florida, touting his support of gun rights. The Republican presidential candidate held a rally in Sarasota yesterday afternoon where he pointed to the recent Paris terror attacks as the reason he thinks more people need guns.
I just want to say it up front right now. Second Amendment, 100%. If some of those folks that were just slaughtered in Paris, if a couple of guns were in that room that were held by the good guys, you would have had a totally different story, let me tell you. You would have had a totally different story.
Trump also reminded the crowds that he was self-funding his campaign. He criticized super PACs, calling them a scam because he says the millions of dollars raised go to high-priced consultants and advisors and make candidates captive to big donors. Meanwhile, Republican presidential candidate Ben Carson saying Middle East nations should be responsible for taking millions of refugees fleeing the war in Syria. Carson spent the past couple of days in Jordan, where he met a handful of Syrian refugees living in a refugee camp. Ben Carson became the first 2016 presidential candidate to visit a camp and a clinic for Syrian refugees. No press were allowed on this two-day trip to Jordan, but his campaign just released these photos. They're clearly hoping these kinds of images will help beef up his foreign policy credentials, something Carson has admittedly struggled with throughout his campaign. But he has been consistent. He has repeatedly opposed the president's plan to allow Syrian refugees into the U.S. Instead, he says they should be absorbed by neighboring countries like Jordan and that the U.S. should help. Quote, the United States must do more. Bringing 25,000 refugees to the U.S. does nothing to solve the crisis. Jordan already houses 1.4 million refugees. Jordan needs and deserves our help. According to the latest Fox News poll, Carson is still in second, but slipping. Cruz and Rubio are tied for third. Bush is in fourth. And Donald Trump is still on top with a 10-point lead. Yesterday, Trump held another huge rally, this one in Sarasota, where he addressed his latest controversy that he had mocked the disability of a New York Times reporter. Yesterday, Trump flatly denied the accusations. As for the Democrats, Hillary Clinton, like most candidates, took a few days off for Thanksgiving, but today she'll be in Boston. And next week, Hillary Clinton will be here in South Florida. She's expected at a private fundraiser Tuesday night in Miami Beach and then in Orlando on Wednesday for what her campaign calls a grassroots organizing event. It is now 5:37 when we come back. Cats getting sent to prison. How the move is giving both the kittens and the inmates a new start. And Olympic skier Lindsey Vonn opening up about her high-profile relationship with a famous South Florida golfer. What she has to say about her ex, Tiger Woods, after the break.
At Wptv, we empower local families to get more done with less hassle. You see Chopper 5 overhead, and you know something's going on. You decide if you can spend more time at home. You're getting out the door prepared with a live look around the country down to your doorstep. Storm Team 5, making sure you don't get stuck in the rain. You're seeing door-to-door drive times and live traffic trouble spots. That means no more guessing. Let us help you plan your day. Today on 5, WPTV News Channel 5.
Adventure. It's in our DNA. The season of adventure sales event is happening now. Land Rover, above and beyond.
to winter with Infinity. Now through January 4th, lease the Infinity Q50 for $309 a month. Visit your local Infinity retailer.
Santa has a magic snow globe for every family. And whatever he puts in our snow globe shows up at our house. And this year, look at what he put in our driveway.
Santa can do that?
You sure can, honey.
The Lexus December to Remember sales event is here. Lease the 2016 ES350 for $349 a month for 36 months, and we'll make your first month's payment. See your Lexus dealer.
Why let someone else have all the fun?
Yeah.
The sometimes haphazard, never boring fun. The why can't it smell like this all the time fun.
What did we do yesterday?
The learning the virtue of sharing fun. Why let someone else have all the fun? That's no fun.
Oh, good, hey?
Unleash the power of dough. Give it a pop.
News on WPTV is sponsored by the Lynn Women's Health and Wellness Institute.
New this morning, a Colorado Springs high school honored the police officer killed in the Colorado Springs shooting at a basketball game last night. The University of Colorado at Colorado Springs Police Force joined the school's basketball team on the court for a moment of silence before the game to honor fallen UCCS officer Garrett Swayze. The officers and players then lifted their fists in solidarity. Fellow officers wore pictures of Officer Swayze on their uniforms and called him heroic. Officer Swayze was one of 3 people killed when Robert Deere opened fire inside of a Planned Parenthood clinic on Friday. He was a 6-year veteran with the department and leaves behind a wife and 2 children.
No, you're good. Come on.
16 shots in the Colorado. 16 shots in the Colorado.
Protesters carried a coffin to City Hall in Chicago yesterday. This to draw attention to the fatal police shooting of a black teenager. It's the latest demonstration in the city since Tuesday when officials released a video showing 17-year-old Laquan McDonald getting shot 16 times. Prosecutors have charged Officer Jason Van Dyke with first-degree murder. Stray cats in Washington County are now getting sent to prison. As Drew Mickelson found out, it's a win-win for both the kittens and the inmates.
When you play with them, they'll want to grab your hands and maybe fight you and stuff, and we'll just change it with a toy.
These amateur cat handlers,
they are loved.
Know a thing or two about rehabilitation.
And it's just like a little behavioral modification.
These 6 kittens.
This is Ashes.
And their mom were found as strays, and someone turned them into the Kitsap County Humane Society.
We work with them to make sure they learn to use the litter box.
The Humane Society is having the cats raised and prepped for adoption by inmates at the Mission Creek Correction Center for Women.
I have learned to be so gentle with the kittens.
Shauna Teagle is serving 3 years for drug dealing.
It's kind of a new start for both of us.
Sydney Berthel is in for theft.
Look at that little face.
They say helping these cats also helps them.
I know I'm a part of something that's really good right now. And it feels really good because it's been a while since I've been a part of something that really makes a difference. Yeah, it's definitely helped.
For some of the offenders, it gives them this new sense of purpose. For some of them, it's very therapeutic. And for others, they will have desire to be a vet tech when they grow up, you know, get out of prison. So this is giving them skills.
The program is only open to offenders who were violation-free. And those with histories of violence need not apply.
Oh.
The cats have only been inside for 3 weeks, but the waiting list to have the furry bunkmates is over 50 inmates long.
We're rehabilitating the lives of these little kittens, and we're rehabilitating our lives too.
And considering these women will eventually be released, they say teaching them to be compassionate means they'll be less likely to reoffend.
Again, it's a win-win for everybody involved.
And 12 cats are part of the first pilot program at the prison. Once those are put up for adoption, the inmates are expecting another batch to rehabilitate. Well, she was told she wouldn't see her 18th birthday, but a University of Central Florida student just finished celebrating Thanksgiving with her family. Jordan McCaskill is now 20 years old and recovering from her second lung transplant. She suffers from cystic fibrosis. Jordan had her first lung transplant in 2013, but her body rejected the organs.
She got very, very sick and needed essentially all the technology that we could throw at her to keep her alive.
Jordan says she's happy to outlive her original prognosis each day. Skier Lindsey Vonn in an opening up about her life after her breakup with golfer Tiger Woods. Vonn dated the Jupiter Island resident for 3 years, splitting time between South Florida and Colorado, where she trains. Vonn said she has no regrets about her relationship.
I loved him and I still love him, and I had an amazing 3 years with him, but you know, sometimes things just don't work out, and unfortunately it didn't work out for us, but I don't have any regrets, and yeah, I think we're both in a pretty good place.
Vonn says she doesn't know if now is the time to jump back into the dating world. She says all she is focused on now is her racing career. A judge has ruled schools have the right to control the messages on their property. A former porn star put up signs on Palm Beach County School District property. David Meck has signs for his tutoring business taken down after school leaders learned he used to do porn. He tried suing, claiming free speech. Boca Raton police are looking for a man they say verbally and physically assaulted an Orthodox Jew. They believe the incident was a hate crime. Boca police say the 19-year-old victim is studying at the Chabad Center to become a rabbi. They say he was walking down Northeast 2nd Street last weekend when a man shouted at him, "Jews should go back to Auschwitz. Hitler was right." The victim says he was then shoved to the ground and punched before the suspect got away on a bicycle. But he says what happened to him does not represent Boca.
I think the community is a very great community and very welcoming community, and I think this is definitely a one-time incident.
But just last month, a rabbi told us someone shouted at a student, "We don't want Jews here." He questions whether their expansion to a new, much larger facility is playing a role. This week, police made 2 arrests in the murder of a pastor's pregnant wife. First on Tuesday night, then a second on Wednesday. The 2 men, aged 18 and 21, are now facing murder charges. Police say they killed the 28-year-old woman while she was at home with her 15-month-old son. Her husband came home from the gym to find his wife shot in the head. Investigators believe one of the suspects may have seen him leave while they were breaking into a nearby house. A consumer alert if you just bought a Dell computer. Security investigators say new Dell laptops and desktops shipped since August are causing some concerns. They're more prone to malware attacks and put you at risk for online eavesdropping. But Dell says it is working on a fix. And overseas, check this out, 4 Norwegian children at the North Pole. They skied 68 miles to get there, all to raise awareness of climate change. They plan to attend the Paris Climate Summit and hope to meet President Obama. Well, it could be the find of the century in Egypt. New information suggests King Tut's tomb may actually hide the ancient burial place of a legendary queen. Experts say a recent radar imaging of King Tut's tomb in Luxor showed passages to a hidden chamber, and that chamber could be the last resting place of the lost queen Nefertiti.
Well, that's cool. Very, very cool. And now it's time for a look at a top trending story online right now out of Brussels.
That's right. The country just lifted a 5-day lockdown prompted by the threat of terrorists in the country, and now their tourism industry is understandably suffering.
So tourism officials just shot this video in an attempt to bring tourists back to Brussels for the Christmas season.
Now, before we show it to you, a little context. Police asked citizens not to post information about the raids going on to social media. So instead, citizens have been posting pictures of cats, which has now become the unofficial mascot of the Brussels lockdown. Take a look. So, did that convince you to visit Brussels?
I mean, no. But that's funny.
That video is
props to them and their marketing team, I guess.
So European, that video.
I know.
It reminds me of
You said it, not me. Jason Hackett. Jason.Hackett at WPTV.com.
I welcome your emails. It's an interesting, creative way to get things going over there.
It is. I mean, it's definitely working out for him, I guess, considering the fact that people are talking about it.
Yeah,
absolutely. So maybe it will convince people to come to Brussels.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe.
Who knows?
Who knows? We don't know.
How's the weather looking out there, Tyler?
It's looking good. It is comfortable outside. We have temperatures in the 50s and 60s, low humidity, and a nice breeze to just, you know, add icing to the cake. Now, live after 5 Max right now is dry. We're not expecting any rain really this morning, just a few showers possible for us all day long, and fog tracker right now is good to go. So we're not seeing any rain, we're not seeing any fog. We are looking fine and dandy. Yes, there is the possibility for some isolated fast-moving showers this morning, but nothing crazy at all. I'm thinking for the most part 95% of us will be dry this morning. Temperatures will be sitting about 75, 76 degrees by 8, 9, 10 o'clock this morning, and when it's all said and done, we'll top out 81 degrees this afternoon. It will be partly cloudy, and yeah, it'll continue to be breezy. The past week, it has been windy. Today, just breezy with the winds sustained around 15 miles per hour, so gusts a little higher than that. Now, you've seen what the wind has done to our seas out there, and right now, those seas are starting to go down. They're still pretty high, though. We have seas right around 6.5, 7 feet along the Treasure Coast, 4.5 to 5 feet down here across the Palm Beaches. Small craft advisory is still in effect, and it will continue to be in effect until later on this evening across the entire viewing area. Seas 5 to 8 feet, inland waterways will be choppy. High tide, 10:22 this morning. Low tide, about 4:15 or so this afternoon. Dangerous rip currents expected for yet another day at area beaches, and surf will be at least chest high, likely overhead across the entire viewing area. Now, in terms of your temperatures today during the afternoon hours, we are going to see low 80s, 82 degrees in Belle Glade, 82 degrees in Boynton and Boca, 81 degrees in West Palm, and 80 degrees in Jupiter. Pushing up towards the Treasure Coast, you can see that we have much more of the same, but maybe a degree or two cooler than what we're going to see down here in Palm Beach County. 80 degrees in Vero Beach, 81 degrees for you in Vero, 80 degrees in Okeechobee, Indiantown, and also Stewart. The humidity isn't too bad, so it'll feel okay. Once we get to the end of next week, the humidity will be through the roof, and it'll feel like spring or summertime. Forecast for today, as you can see, it blows in some clouds. Now, it's not going to be mostly cloudy for us, but we will see our fair share of clouds, so we'll call it a mixture of sun and clouds. And for the most part, Forecast prints a pretty dry image for us this afternoon. It's not until the wee hours of Monday that we see some showers roll in. Rain percentages stay pretty low for the first few days of next week, about 20%. Once we get to Wednesday, ramps up to 40%, and then 60% on Thursday and Friday. And these will be the two wettest days out of the next 7. And it's all in advance of our next front. That front will spike our rain percentages and also bring in a warm tropical air mass ahead of it. 85 degrees for a high on Wednesday, 84 degrees on Thursday. The cool air doesn't come in until that front is out of the area, and we expect that cooler air to come in next weekend. Jason, back to you.
Tyler, thank you. Now to a health alert about the increasing diagnosis of bone cancer in kids. Anyone struggling with the illness knows it can affect the way a kid's body develops, but there is new technology that can help survivors look and feel just like everyone else. Claudia Cowan has more from Los Angeles.
Same old, just like last time.
When Dr. Amalia DeComas first met 12-year-old Yadira in 2013, the little girl had a painful mass above her knee. It turned out to be osteosarcoma, a rare type of bone cancer with about 800 U.S. cases each year, half of which are in kids. For adults, the treatment is pretty standard. Remove the affected bone and replace it with a metal rod. But for children, that's not an option.
In a growing child, it's a whole nother factor because we're adding in the fact that that limb still needs to catch up to her other leg that's going to be growing normally.
A few years ago, Yadira would have lost her leg.
All right, let's put you in here.
But doctors at Banner Health in Arizona had another solution. Remove the tumor and surgically replace the missing bone with this extendable prosthesis.
The device has a mechanism built into it that when we put it under the magnet allows the growing component to disengage and actually lengthen at a rate of 1 millimeter per 4 minutes.
16 minutes later.
Okay, all done.
Her left leg was 4 millimeters longer.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Look, almost even there.
It takes a few visits a year to keep Yadira's legs even, and since her initial surgery 2 years ago, she and the prosthesis have grown quite a bit.
No one would know anything different if they saw her walking down the street.
And that was Claudia Cowan reporting. Now, when Yadira is done growing, her doctor plans to remove the implant and replace it with a standard rod. It is now 5:53. We'll be right back after the break. But first, here's a live look at 6th Avenue and I-95 on the busiest travel day of the year. Still pretty early out there, but it should pick up pretty fast, pretty soon. We'll be right back.
When someone unknown
overcomes incredible odds to become the face of a revolution. At Chrysler, that's a story we can get behind. Because in our experience, where you've been is part of your story. And where you're going says a whole lot more about you. See The Hunger Games Mockingjay Part 2 now playing in theaters. Get 0% APR for 75 months on all 2015 Chrysler models. Sale ends November 30th.
Get 0% APR financing for 75 months, plus $2,000 total bonus cash on the 2015 Chrysler 200.
City Furniture's Black Friday sale has just been extended through Monday. Get incredible specials in the showroom and on cityfurniture.com. A 3-piece sofa group or sectional, your choice, just $7.99. Plus, enjoy free shipping and an extra 10% off or no interest till 2020. Through Monday at City Furniture.
It's back.
It's Nissan's holiday event. Now with special Black Friday offers.
Get up to $1,000 bonus cash on top of existing offers on select models.
Bonus cash and soon.
Shop your local Nissan store and choose Nissan.com.
It's Black Friday all month at Tire Kingdom. Right now, buy 2 tires, get 2 tires free instantly when you purchase our value installation package. Now through the end of November at Tire Kingdom Service Centers.
Be ready to winter with Infiniti. Now through January 4th, lease the Infiniti Q50 for $309 a month. Visit your local Infiniti retailer.
Closed captioning on WPTV is sponsored by Bethesda Health.
Happening today, an event both women, men, and their four-legged best friends can enjoy. Meeting Santa at this year's Paws and Claws Pet Photos. Today, you can take your well-mannered furry family members to the Ice Palace in the mall at Wellington Green to get a picture with Santa between 6:30 and 8:30 tonight. Now, if you can't make it tonight, you'll have another chance to get those photos on December 6th. Now, those photo packages range from $22 to $48, and you're welcome to bring pet supplies to donate. Those supplies will go to Big Dog Ranch Rescue. And we're going to send it over to Tyler with a look at the tropics. How's it looking out there, Tyler?
All righty. Well, it is looking good. And you know, Jason, we have 1 day left of hurricane season. Hurricane season is going to end here in about 24 hours from now. We are more like 48 hours from now. Today, we have today, and then we have tomorrow. So another day, a day and a half or so. Tropics are looking good, though. Hey, it's completely quiet out there. If you're a weather geek, or maybe you're just paying really close attention right here to the satellite image, or the satellite image the past couple of days, you'll notice the swirl right here, right over Puerto Rico. That's nothing to be concerned about. That's an upper-level system, and it is not expected to form into anything tropical. Jason, back to you.
It's now 5:57 when we come back. Investigators say a house fire in West Palm Beach was set on purpose. Coming up, where it happened and how you can help. Plus, a fire truck in West Palm Beach got hit with gunfire.